instead of the person in the middle. He would leave the group and he'd go get the person on the outside and bring the person on the outside in, which is a very Christ-like thing to do. But Anita noticed how I would spend a disproportionate amount of my time with the person on the margins and neglect the people in the center. And she said something to me that I'll never forget. I'll take to my grave. Both Roy and Anita have passed on now. She said, "Brother Charles, the up and out need Jesus as much as the down and out." The up and out need Jesus as much as the down and out. I've never forgotten that. And never a truer word has been spoken about American Christianity. Because we have money and we have power in the church in America today. Nobody's missed a meal. Nobody's being put in jail because of their beliefs in America. We have all of this status and all of this privilege, but we are still lost in America. And the up and out need Jesus as much as the down and out. But this congregation is down and out. And for Paul to tell them, you are chosen. You are on God's team. It was altogether transformative. Some of the most lost people I know, I mean lost, are people with money, fame, recognition, position, comfort. Some of the most centered people I know. Some of the happiest people I know, you too, you know people like this, have very little financial wealth and very little status in this world. And they have no alternative but to place their trust and their security and their faith in God. You are chosen, Paul is telling us. There's nobody here who's left out. Everybody here is included. Everybody here is on God's team. Everybody here is special. Everybody here has a place. Everybody here is given a position of sacredness. I think if there's one message that if I could just get on the highest steeple, maybe it's this church in Brownwood, Texas, with a bullhorn. A bullhorn? Is that what you call it? A bullhorn. And just yell it out. I'd say, you're chosen. You're selected. God's put you on His team. Not only that, but you're also destined, which simply means, let's don't get all caught up in Presbyterian Calvinist theology about what God knew and when God knew it. And God, as I said this morning, is not a puppeteer ordering our lives and pulling the puppet strings. And it's very interesting how God has dealt us a hand and shared God's power with us, and how God invites us to cooperate with Him in His project of love in the world. There is a sense in which God's hands are our hands, God's smile is our smile, God's feet are our feet. But we are destined. We are given God's plan and purpose. That's what it means. We're selected, we're chosen, and we're destined. God has given us a job to do. We don't have to wonder about it, friends. We're not confused about it. I think we're pretty clear about what God wants us to do as a church. I don't think we have to be mystified about it. We can, and as a matter of fact, it's pretty forthright in a number of places. We can turn to Matthew 25 and see what God wants us to do. The parable of the Great Judgment. where the disciples say, Lord, when did we see you hungry and I give you something to eat? When did we see you thirsty and I give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and not take you in? When were you in prison and we didn't visit you? When were you naked and did not give you a coat? And Jesus says, inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these, you have done it unto me. That is a pretty clear purpose for which we're destined. That's pretty clear. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to be confused about it. We don't have to take a vote on it. That is what the church of Jesus is supposed to do. And we talked about Haiti last Sunday. Have you noticed all week long about the Christian presence in the country of Haiti? And have you read in the news reports and seen on the internet and on television about how all of these aid groups, and it's very fascinating to me what the Spirit of God is doing in the world. I think it's ingenious. And this earthquake happens because God has set in motion certain natural processes. That's why the earthquake happened. Because many tens of thousands, and I'm not a geologist, but some of you are, and hundreds of thousands of years ago, certain plates shifted and continue to shift underneath the water surface and so forth, and it just erupted in Haiti. That's why the earthquake happened. The why is not important. The what are we going to do now is what's important. And the Church of Jesus globally and worldwide has become mobilized in that country. And many of these relief organizations are going in the name of Christ. And I noticed, Jan and I turned on the television for a little while on Friday night. Interesting. These performers. And I'm getting so old I don't even know half of them. But these performers are doing this benefit for Haiti. Did you notice that, Joe? You know, raise your hand if y'all saw that. Yeah, you saw that. It's interesting. And these are performers, and they're not, did you sense how, and I think this is somehow genuine. I don't think it's a put on. Did you sense how there was a holiness to that thing? And a little reverence? Nobody got applauded for. All those stars, those superstars, those celebrities, you know, they're used to all that applause. And somebody made the decision, not going to be any applause. This isn't about you. And all those superstars and those celebrities, and they were humble themselves, and they sang music that was reflective and not overtly Christian, but at least had some kind of soulfulness to it. Interesting to me. Interesting. Because even their hearts are touched. We are destined. And if we go do that destiny and claim it, my Lord have mercy. Hide and watch. If we go do the plan that God has given us, we're chosen for it, we're destined for it, then we will have something. Then the world will rise up and take notice of us. Third, we're adopted. None of us have this status because we deserve it. None of us have a rightful claim on sonship or daughtership. We're adopted. It's not in our bloodline. It is not. It's not by way of a physical or genetic inheritance. We're adopted. It's what Jesus told Nicodemus. And Nicodemus said, wait a minute, I'm a Jew. I'm of the blood and lineage of Abraham. I've got the right line. I've got the right family heritage. Jesus says, hold on. You got to be born all over again. That doesn't put you in any right position before God. You got to be born from above, born anew, born again. We're all adopted, every one of us. We're all illegitimate, if you want to use a word that ought never be used about a human being. One born out of what? Thankfully, we don't use that term much anymore. I don't hear it much anymore. And nor the vulgar terms that we used to hear many, many years ago.